Good morning students, welcome to All Force e-learning classes. So today we are again going to discuss the economics first year, unit 2, and already we completed diminishing marginal utility. Now we are going through the law of Equi marginal utility, and the second lesson name is theories of consumer behavior. In theories of consumer behavior, this is the fifth day we are discussing about Equi marginal utility. Today is the second day. I am explaining you law of Equi marginal utility, which is being proposed by H.H. Gaussen. That's why it is called as second law of Gaussen, and it talks about exchanging the commodities for getting maximum satisfaction. That's why it is also called as law of substitution. And we are substituting the commodities to get maximum satisfaction. That's why it is also called as law of maximum satisfaction. Substituting the goods and getting the maximum satisfaction is possible only by equalizing the marginal utilities. We equalize the marginal utilities. That's why it is also called as Equi marginal utility. Today we will discuss about certain things which shown as importance of this Equi marginal utility. Yesterday we have seen the definition, meaning, the statement, and also we have seen how we make the table of marginal utilities of X commodity, marginal utilities of Y commodity, and you have seen X commodity price, Y commodity price, and income of the consumer. For the recapping, let me remind you, income of the consumer was 20 rupees, price of the X commodities was 3 rupees, price of the Y commodities were 4 rupees, and what is the mathematical equation? MUX by PX should be equal to MUY of PY. And yes, we first constructed the table with marginal utilities which a consumer finds from X commodity and Y commodity. We have seen 33, 30, 27. If you remember the table, or watch in the textbook. You have the textbook in front of you, I hope, and you are holding a pen and a notebook. Whatever I am teaching, keep writing those running notes. That makes the things easier to remember. I told you, use the 5 senses. Okay, now we have constructed the table with what are the marginal utilities a person can get from the same commodity. If the quantity increases, marginal utility goes on decreasing of X as well as Y. Right? So both those marginal utilities have been divided by their prices. Like 33 utils of satisfaction he got from X, that is divided by 3. So we reconstructed another table and we rewrote the total marginal utilities which are divided by the prices. And we have seen wherever the 8 becomes equal, there the consumer was in equilibrium. See in your textbook or whatever the notes you made yesterday. Then you will remember all these things step by step. Okay. Now we will see what is the limitations, what are the limitations, and what is the importance of law of Equi marginal utility, which is being developed and proposed in the book of Principles of Economics by Alfred Marshall in 1890. Now we will see first limitations of law of Equi marginal utility. What are the limitations? The first limitation is rationality of consumer. We have seen the same thing happening in law of diminishing marginal utility too. We have seen the assumptions turning into limitations in law of diminishing marginal utility, which is being proposed by same Alfred Marshall and which has been devised by Gaussen. That's why it was called as first law of Gaussen. This is called second law of Gaussen. In both the laws, the assumptions are almost same, and all those assumptions turns into limitations. Here we will see the limitations. First one is rationality of consumer. Plenty of times rationality of consumer is not really true or correct. In market, plenty of times we tend to purchase the commodities without considering the utility what we are going to get out of it. Plenty of times. When we go to the market, we may be planning to purchase something, but there after reaching the market, all of a sudden by watching the freshness and marketing strategies of the people, we will start purchasing those commodities, thinking that in the coming future we may use that commodity. See, means our rationality is all of a sudden disappears. So that's why that rationality of a consumer is simply become the limitation. Means always consumer is not rational. Next, if goods are large and divisible, then also a problem comes. See, all the time we were saying one to another exchange, one to another we are substituting. Instead of one we are substituting another, but sometimes it is not possible, because to get the same level of satisfaction sometimes you need only one commodity which cannot be divided, or sometimes you have to get only one commodity which is too big, we can divide it. So in both the cases this equi-marginal utility starts losing its importance. So here one of the limitation is if goods are large and divisible, this law cannot be applicable. Next, scarcity of goods maximizes the satisfaction. Just now I told you plenty of times, even though that commodity can be substituted with something else, but still due to the scarcity, non-availability, all of a sudden demand for that commodity increases and even satisfaction also becomes maximum, just due to the non-availability of the commodity. It is possible. See, even in a bear you will get the same level of all proteins, vitamins, etc. what you get out of apple, but apple is more costlier than the bear. Why it is so? Because it is not available in our market. They have to be get from Kashmir or Himachal Pradesh. That's why their prices are more, even the satisfaction is also more. In that way, sometimes non-availability of goods also maximizes the satisfaction. Next, price which always keeps changing. What was the assumption? Price is supposed to be constant. Is really price is constant? No, it changes day to day. Even I say within a day, morning to afternoon, afternoon to evening. It is not constant. It keeps changing. So that's why we say prices are always changing. They are not constant. But the assumption is constant. But which is not actually happens in the real-time market. Next we will see maximum satisfaction of a complementary goods cannot be calculated. How can you say when you take a cup of tea, how much satisfaction you are gaining from the sugar, from tea powder, from milk? You cannot measure. Final commodities satisfaction you are calculating, but you cannot divide and see how much satisfaction you are getting from which commodity. So that's why the fifth one says maximum satisfaction of complementaries cannot be calculated, because without complementaries we cannot make anything. Like a cup of coffee, like a sweet. All sweets are sweet, but all sweets are taste the same? No, they have different tastes. That's why here whenever we say, if you taking one thing, you cannot say it is independent. Its taste, its capacity to satisfy our wants, those all are different from commodity to commodity. That's why maximum satisfaction of complementaries cannot be calculated. By adding something, it changes. Yeah, the good dish, but they forgotten to put the little salt, then taste changes. But can you say total satisfaction come out of the salt? You are getting total maximum satisfaction out of salt? No, it is one of the ingredients. But how can you measure that ingredient satisfaction? So it is not possible. And next one is, it is about the no fixed period of time we are calculating. What did we say in a diminishing marginality? No time gap. But here in equi-marginality, we are not calculating anything about this period of time. If period of time is missing, it is not in the assumptions, then automatically that law fails. So these are all the things which makes the law of equi-marginality not to be applied. Okay, now let us see cardinal measurement. Already we have seen cardinal measurement is not possible because you cannot measure the satisfaction of a person in particular numbers. Only it is possible to compare. Like generally ask my students that what is the sweet you like? One will say motichur laddu, another will say kaju katli. Okay, if I ask them, if I give you each one A with motichur laddu, 100 grams, how much satisfaction do you get? Can they give exact idea of how much satisfaction? Kaju katli. He says, I get more satisfaction from kaju katli than motichur laddu. That much only can be said. The girl, Miss A can say that I get more satisfaction out of motichur laddu than the kaju katli. Only they can compare. But can they say exactly I get out of 100 grams 50 utils of satisfaction? Can we measure really? No, because even this satisfaction also changes from time to time, place to place, and person to person. Within the home, if you like something, maybe your brother or sister may not like it. Maybe your mama says Karela, bitter gourd, is a very tasty dish, and you will say, hey, I don't like it. See, there is a difference. So how can you measure the satisfaction in cardinal numbers? Like it gives 35 units of satisfaction to my mother, 30 units of satisfaction to my father, and I get only 1 unit of satisfaction. Can we measure like that? No, it cannot be. Only we can say mama gets more satisfaction than the papa, and papa gets more satisfaction than me. Only it is a comparative one. Cardinally we cannot measure. Next one, perfect knowledge is not really possible. You should know all the commodities in the market, first thing. Second thing, you should know all the prices of all commodities. Is it really possible? No. That's why this 8th limitation says perfect knowledge is not possible. Now we will see the next things like importance. We have discussed the limitations. Now we will discuss the importance of the law. The importance of the law of equi-marginality is really a large quantity. It decides plenty of things. It is helpful to finance minister. It is helpful to a common household person. How it will be? Let us see. This is the basis of consumption and expenditure. A consumer, he thinks whether to purchase this or that. When he is thinking of purchasing this or that, he will see which commodity gives me more satisfaction. He is ready to spend more on that commodity. He is shifting his importance from one commodity to another commodity. It means what? Demand for different commodities are happening. It is discussing about consumer behavior. And if the second thing is more preferable, automatically production for that second thing will start increasing. So our consumption, the consumer's expenditure is on whichever the commodity, its demand increases, means consumption creates the demand. That demand is going to influence the total market. All of a sudden, from tape recorders, we turn to CDs. See, a consumer expenditure from tape recorders turn to CD players. All of a sudden, people stopped purchasing cameras. They started purchasing smartphones. Because from the smartphone, you will get the best results as well as the camera. See, consumer expenditure shifted from one to another. All of a sudden, instead of investing in cameras, they started producing more of cell phones. So much of competition. so much of demand. So these all things can be explained with the help of law of equi-marginal utility. What we are trying to do, we are equalizing the satisfactions. Okay, so the second one is basis for savings and consumption. Oh yes, we need to decide how to save the money. See, if we are getting more satisfaction from second commodity at a lower price, you certainly will go for second commodity. If you are getting more satisfaction from the first commodity itself at a lower price, you will prefer more of first commodity. If you are preferring the first commodity, what does it mean? You are saving a lot of amount. You will purchase more of first commodity and you will save a lot of amount. So this all you have seen in the table itself. Costly commodity you purchased only 2. That is Y commodity for 4 rupees you purchased only 2. You prefer 2, and from X commodity you purchased 4. What did you do? You are saving your money and trying to get maximum of commodities. Okay, so it is discussing about savings, at the same time consumption. Which commodity to be consumed more? Next, field of production. Yeah, just now I explained you. Whenever consumer prefer whichever the commodity, its production is going to increase, like your cells. In the olden days, there used to be gramophone records. Olden days. Then things changed. Before that, there used to be radios. After radios, transistors, gramophone records, tape recorders, CDs, CD players, DVD players. Now everything is in the cell. Everything we are getting that entertainment out of the cell. So see, production of which commodity always differs. So which one you want to sacrifice, which one you want to prefer. That makes all the difference in the market and it influences the production. Next, application of exchange. It is applied for exchange of commodities. This is also called as marginal rate of substitution. At what rate you are ready to exchange, which you want to sacrifice, which you want to prefer, you take. Some you will leave, some you will take. But at the end of the day, you are always trying to get maximum marginal utility. So it is applicable for exchanging process too. Like money is exchanged, commodities are exchanged. Sometimes the old things are there at home, we will sell them, we will purchase a new thing to get maximum satisfaction. In that process, what we are doing, we are exchanging the commodities. Okay, and the next one is price determination. How the prices are determined in the market is a big science. You need to understand that in detail. We will have a long time discussion about that price determination in 3rd chapter. Okay, before that, here even equi-marginal utility also helps in determining the prices. It is being told by A.C. Pigot. He is a follower of whom? Go to the first and second definitions. That is Alfred Marshall. Go to the page number 4. A.C. Pigot says money is the measuring rod of satisfaction. So here, price determination. If a commodity is preferred more, then it is giving you more satisfaction, then you are ready to pay more amount to that one. Like gold and silver, which gives you more satisfaction? Wearing silver jewelry or gold jewelry? Yes, certainly gold. That's why its price is going on. Nowadays you are watching. Just 1.5 years back, it was only 30,000. Now it is around 51 or 52,000. You are watching, no? See, price determination also with the help of law of equi-marginal utility, because we are equalizing the marginal utilities. Silver gives less satisfaction, that's why we go for gold. 1 kg of silver equals to 10 grams of gold. You can see that in the market. Okay, next, public finance, public budgeting, government expenditure, government revenue, everything comes under public finance. So government expenditure, government revenue, everything happens according to this law of equi-marginal utility. Government will make the CST, GST, everything according to the requirement of the people and preferences of the people. They change this taxation system, whether it is spending or collecting from the people. Spending for the people, collecting from the people. That all happens with the help of law of equi-marginal utility. So in these 2 days we have seen or we learned specifically about law of equi-marginal utility, which is proposed by Gaussian, which is developed by Alfred Marshall, and which gives you exact in-depth knowledge about how the consumers shift from one commodity to another commodity to get maximum satisfaction. Okay, and now we will go to the next topic, that is shortcomings of cardinal utility. I told you at the beginning itself, in this chapter, first day we are having a discussion about of first utility. Do you remember what is utility? The want satisfying power in any commodity is called as utility. Yeah, every commodity have want satisfying power. That power is utility, and that utility can be measured in 2 levels: cardinal utility, ordinal utility. Cardinal numbers if you use cardinal utility, ordinal numbers if you use ordinal utility. Yeah, I'm repeating these words again and again because you people may forget, and some of you may be too intelligent and you won't forget, but all the students are not equal. I prefer to repeat some important concepts again and again so that you will remember perfectly till you completion of not inter, till you complete your MBA, till you enter into a big organization, till you get retired from your job or from your production unit as a producer. You need to remember all these concepts because these are all supporting the economics. Okay, ordinal utility. If you use the ordinal numbers to compare the satisfaction, then it is called ordinal utility. Okay, and first we have seen both law of DMU, diminishing marginality, law of EMU, equi-marginality. Both are depending on cardinal utility, and that cardinal utility is becoming the limitation in both DMU as well as EMU. We have seen this. This is the limitation. That's why it is being criticized by Hicks and Allen. And those criticism here we are going to watch as the shortcomings of cardinal utility. What are the minus points or what are the limitations of cardinal utility? Now we are going to watch, because due to all these shortcomings we are going to depend on ordinal utility when we go in the analysis of indifference curve. Indifference curve. When we discuss about indifference curve, we should have the exact idea why they prefer ordinal utility to measure the human satisfaction rather than cardinal utility. When Alfred Marshall preferred cardinal, Hicks and Allen, they preferred ordinal. Why? Because cardinal utility got these many shortcomings or limitations or weaknesses. Now we will have a detailed discussions of shortcomings of cardinal utility. In your book you can see, as we complete the law of diminishing marginality, the next topic is shortcomings of cardinal utility. Now we will see. First one, not possible to measure. Really, human satisfaction can be measured? Just now I given you the example. Yeah, I know. Miss A, she want motichur laddu. She gets more satisfaction out of that. Besides that, whatever you offer, she gets more satisfaction out of that. Even after that also, can she say exactly this much of satisfaction I get? Can she measure? Only she can compare. Only she can compare. Like you prefer some color, like let's say yellow, blue, some color, and you gone to the market and you purchased a shirt or a dress, Punjabi dress, if it is a boy or a girl. They can go for a shirt or Punjabi dress, but boys cannot go for Punjabi dresses, be consider that. So if a girl purchased a Punjabi dress, yellow color, she can say, I love this color, I prefer this color, so I get more satisfaction out of yellow color dress than blue color dress. She can say that, only that much. She cannot say blue color dress gives me only 25 units of satisfaction and yellow color dress gives me 50 units of satisfaction. Can she make that exact measurement? No, only she can compare. Yeah, my yellow dress gives me more satisfaction than the blue color dress. Only that much she can say. So it is not possible to measure the satisfaction. Now let us go to the second one. Rational. A customer being rational is plenty of times is not correct, because we are moody people. We are very easy to be pampered. If you go to a showroom and all of a sudden there you see someone whom you like a model, a hero, someone, a heroine, they are wearing some modern dress or running fashion dress, automatically you will be influenced by that fashion dress. See, 2 years back there was a fashion of wearing the blouses with holes. How many months it ran? 2-3 months the fashion was running, and all of a sudden the fashion disappeared. Actually, wearing that torn jeans is really, is it a fashion? Torn jeans. But it was running a fashion because heroes and heroines were wearing those torn jeans. So you also prefer torn jeans. But it is not a fashion forever. It will run for some time. And in those days you will be very influenced to purchase it. That's why consumer is not really rational. You are going there to purchase a new dress, not a torn dress. But what did you purchase? Just due to the influence of your friends and those heroes and those movies, you purchased a old torn jeans. And sometimes at home you torn your own jeans with a sharp object. Plenty of times consumer is not rational. Now let us go to the next one. Goods not independent. Yes, no good is independent. If I am teaching, I am not teaching independently. See, I need a board, I need a chalk, I need a pointer, I need the light, I need the cell, I need a stand to put that cell. See how many things. I need an internet connection. See, nothing comes independent. Everything is connected with something to use. I told you, cup of tea takes plenty of things. Your lunch, your dinner, your class now which you are listening, you need plenty of things. You can see the fan moving above your head. That is also helping you to understand your education. Next, goods are not independent. So that's why cardinal utility assumptions are washed out once after another. One after another they have been broomed out. Next, marginal utility of money is not constant. Yes, marginal utility of money is not at all constant. It always keeps changing. Sometimes increases, sometimes decreases along with the prices and along with the quantity what you have in your pocket. See, if the prices increases, marginal utility of money decreases. If you have more money, a suitcase full of money, then you are ready to give 100 rupees just like that to any beggar. A bundle of notes to your close friend. But if you don't have that much of money, if you have only 100 rupees note, are you ready to give it to a beggar? No. When the quantity increases, marginal utility decreases. When the quantity decreases, marginal utility of money increases. It's not applicable to those stingy persons who die for the money. Okay. Now, marginal utility of money is not constant. One commodity is unrealistic. We never purchase any one commodity. See, when your brother going to vegetable market, your mama won't say bring only tomatoes. Along with tomatoes she says chili, brinjal, what is that, coriander. We need plenty of things to cook the food. So how can we say any one thing is going to satisfy us? No, we need plenty of things. And one commodity is unrealistic. Whenever we go for something, we won't purchase only one thing. and we don't depend on only one thing. We don't eat only one thing. We mix plenty of things, one by one after another. Okay, so one commodity is not realistic. Now, income, price, substitution effects are not discussed under cardinal utility. Even in DMU or EMU, these three things are not really discussed in detail. Like prices of the commodities makes the difference, substitution difference, income increases, decreases, it is different. These effects are not totally discussed. Last one is demand for indivisible commodities. This is also not detailedly discussed. Demand for indivisible commodities are not discussed under this cardinal utility. How can you measure the satisfaction which you get from different things within that thing? Like I told you already, a cup of tea. How can you measure the marginal utility of milk, tea powder, sugar, that heating process, the cup? So these are all the shortcomings or limitations to the cardinal utility. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about indifference curve in detail. With this, today's session is over.